And the only way we own our space is actually through collaboration. We can only go so far as telcos, and I think that was demonstrated yesterday already. Banks can only go so far, but together, if you were to plug in the fintechs, all you creative people in the room, working with Momo, what can't we do?
What we are struggling with as fintechs and all of us in this room is how are we going to be able to share the revenue share that is taking place.
Today we are here at the Sheraton Hotel Kampala at the 7th FITSPA Annual Fintech Conference. So this year's theme is Fintech for Sustainable Growth, Innovations, Investment and Inclusion. So we're basically here to unpack the role of fintech in driving financial inclusion in the country.
For this annual conference, I think for me a key takeaway was the interest in ESG protocols and the adoption and compliance towards those ESG protocols. We look forward to supporting the different financial institutions adopt and make common practice the application of the ESG protocols.
We tend to sometimes think that ESG or sustainability is a Western agenda. No, climate change is real, staff strikes are real, unhappy clients are real, making losses is real.
If we are going to actually leave the planet the way we want our great-great-great-grandchildren to find it, we need to actually get sustainable.
ESG is, like I said, a framework for shared value. There are people who will give you their goodwill because you are well-intentioned for society.
Fintech is a game changer for Uganda. This is the kind of development that we're all looking forward to. I think it's going to make a massive difference, not just in the payment space, but across various other, connecting and leading industries as well, particularly things like insurance. It has helped to enhance, the financial inclusion agenda, and also made it seamless for people to transact both within Uganda as well as across the region and cross-border.
As a fintech, I think as you're starting a journey, it's always about the dream. What are you looking forward to? A dream later on now when it comes to the finance professionals, they will tell you of a business plan, a vision.
I think as the industry, we need to do a better job at explaining equities, positioning it as an alternative investment asset class that should help individuals, companies to diversify their holdings. Obviously, it's a long-term play.
You cannot create your system based on only technology of Uganda. I can tell you Western Union and whatever, that is now legacy. People are using wallets have come and they are making technologies that we used to use, like Western Union and these other money transfer things, obsolete because they were taking a long time and then verify and then bring your ID. Nobody wants that nonsense.
I hope that in 3 to 4 years, and maybe this one is a dream, that the regulators in the region come together and use the same regulation. Why am I doing the same thing in Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Ghana, Nigeria? Why? Everybody asks for the same documents. They have the exact same laws. But in Africa, somehow we're so separated by these artificial borders that they came and they put on the continent many, many years ago.
The banks in the room, you don't need to wait for the regulator to create a switch. The technology is there. There's open source technology. You guys can sit down, arrange a blockchain between you guys, tokenize the Uganda shilling because you have e-money issuer licenses. It's all about hacking the system. What is there? There's an e-money issuer license, you have it. You have the Electronic Signatures Transactions Act, which backs all electronic transactions. You have that. Put those two together, you have a switch. But we're here looking at bonds.
We have put in place a regulatory sandbox. I know I spoke about this probably sometime last year, but I'm glad to say that we are now ready.
The regulatory sandbox is an amazing development. This is a global trend that we are seeing globally, United States, Europe, and various other global spaces. And it's an amazing platform that also confirms that the regulators in this country are also, moving with times. They're also quite innovative and open. They're also giving platforms to the operators in this space to be able to have a safe space for them to be able to innovate compliantly, which I believe is a very important part of regulation, particularly in this digital space.
For me, the next 3 to 4 years is how do we work closer with more fintechs, with more micro lenders, with more players to create even more data. Not that we don't have enough data today. There's data, but more data, more repayment data, more transactional data.
This is the 7th FITSPA Annual Conference, right? So this is the 7th. And looking back at the first couple of conferences and the impact that fintechs were doing in the society, and looking now, that has scaled. And one of my key takeaways is how can we keep partnering to scale?
Every other conference keeps on getting better and better, right? So you have even non-core financial sort of ecosystems looking forward to be in this space, right? So the hope is that the coming fintech conferences, we can have even more diverse stakeholders joining us, right? Because fintech as an enabler enables other sectors, right?
So for me, my message to you is very simple. Is first of all, innovation is not just welcome, it's essential. It's an essential ingredient for economic growth and for development for all of us. CMA, we are not just watching, we are walking with you in this journey. So don't leave us behind.